Here's another use of the curve tool. So this one's pretty quick. What we're going to do is we're going to open this, and I'm just going to go through and create a curves adjustment. And what they're showing again is here's a histogram. I'm emphasizing the histogram again. Notice that there's really not a lot of dark areas. There's not really a lot of light areas, but every photograph is going to look different as far as what their histogram has. Now, we've played around with these before where we can drag and move them over. We can drag and move them over. But there's this one little cool trick to figure out where are the lightest areas and where are the darkest areas. So if I come in here, that's what this is going to explain. I'm just going to bypass this so I can show you what it's actually doing. Let me go here. So right here, if I hold down my option key and I grab this little black triangle where the shadows are, what it's going to do is it blocks out and it's showing you there's absolutely no pixels in here that are in this darkest corner range. As I start to drag this forward, see how it hits that little part of the histogram right here? It's starting to reveal where are these dark areas within the image. As I keep going, now it's really starting to reveal where those areas are. But this is really in more of the mid-tone range until it finally completely disappears. So I can do the same thing over on this side by dragging this over. So right now, only a couple areas in the image are completely washed out. See these little dots that are here? That's letting you know that the camera did not expose those. It just saw it and completely washed those out. As I start to drag, you can start to see now some of the stuff in the clouds and the sky that starts to show up. So it really starts to show where are the light areas. So that's what these two things are. The main thing is the option key lets you discover that. Now, the way that this is useful, I'm just going to click here, is this is going to allow you to kind of decide when does it start to really show up. Do you want to maybe darken a little bit more of that stuff at the bottom, which I do. So I'm going to actually bring this over a little bit more. So that just darkened up the dark areas. Now, if I take this one, I can do the same thing and do option and start to drag a little bit. And maybe I'll just lighten those up. It doesn't really seem like I need to do much with that. I'm just going to drag that up just a little bit. That's not really doing a huge amount. Then I'll hit next a couple times. And then I'm going to turn this on and off just so I can see the difference. The black kind of looks a little heavy to me now that I see it. So I'm going to bring that back just a little bit more. If I wanted to, I could add in that little bit of an S curve and just kind of pop it slightly, but I'm not sure if that's really doing, actually, it's kind of helping a little bit. But let me drag those off so we can kind of see before. That's just subtly darkening it. Doesn't always necessarily need it. That's a very, very subtle popping of the highlights and the darkening of the shadows, but that would show up. And that is what's happening in this tutorial. So go ahead and save that, and we're moving on to the next set of tutorials.